The easiest way to start using JointJS is to open the docs and go through the quick start guide. Wrong. What most of us developers do is we open the code and dive straight in. That is precisely why JointJS comes with 180 plus demos that are ready for you to explore and tweak according to your needs. In this guide, I will show you how to utilize AI coding agents to easily adjust one of the existing demos precisely to your needs. We're going to change the branding and styling of the app. We're going to add new features. We're going to tweak UI, and we're going to add new actions. Let's dive in. You're going to find all JointJS demos on jointjs.com under Discover, Demos, and Examples. There are over 180 pre-built apps here. We're constantly adding new ones, and this number is actually already outdated. You can filter those demos by popular tags, libraries, or you can just browse them and select the one that is closest to your needs and use that as a starting point for your proof of concept. If you don't want to go through all of those demos manually to find the one that fits your needs perfectly, you can actually ask AI to figure that for you. I'll jump to Claude now, and we will actually use Claude and Claude Code in this video, but this process will work for any AI agent, any AI coding agent, so feel free to use whatever works for you. All right, I'll jump to Claude, I will enter my prompt, and basically, I want to build a proof of concept for an AI agent workflow for our internal customer support ticket system. This is pretty much irrelevant. You're going to enter your own use case here. And the question is, which JointJS demo should I use as a starting point? I'm going to hit enter, and Claude will find the best demo that fits my use case. My top pick is AI Agent Builder, and the runner-up is Workflow Builder. We'll actually use AI Agent Builder as our starting point. Once you open the demo, you can verify that it actually is close to your needs, and this one will fit this demo perfectly. So this is what we will use. I will jump into source code, and all demos are available on GitHub. You can very easily use them, and I'll show you exactly how in a moment. So once you open the repo on GitHub, you're going to find JavaScript and TypeScript version. A quick note, JointJS for React is coming up. It's going to be great, and you're going to see React version here as well. So if you see it, then you can also utilize the React version. In this demo, we will use the JavaScript version. So I'll click that. Once you open it, you will find a command that you can utilize to very quickly set it up on your local system. Exactly this one. I will copy this and I will jump into my terminal to actually run this command and set up JointJS demo on my system. I'm already in the folder where I want to set up the demo, so I'll just paste the command and run it. All right, the example is downloaded, it's on my system, and it's in this folder. Note that you're going to have the TS extension here if you're using the TypeScript version, or React if you're going to be using the React version. I will open the folder in Visual Studio Code. That's what we will use here, but we can just as well use Console or whichever editor you prefer. As I noted before, this process will work for pretty much any setup you have. Right? Code, AI Agent Builder JS. There we go. I will close the welcome screen. And the first thing that I want to do is install all the dependencies. So I will run npm install here. Note that you will need JointJS Plus license here. And you can also start a free trial and get your license that way. Once you do, you're going to need to set it up. Let me quickly show you in npm rc. We're actually reading JointJS npm token. So you're going to have to set this up in your path. You're going to find exactly how to set it up in our docs. Link is going to be below in the description, so check it out if you still don't have your JointJS Plus license set up. All right, now that the project is installed, we can run it, npm run start. If you examine the log here, you're going to see that the project is running on localhost 80,000. I'll open it, and this is a fully working JointJS demo. We're going to tweak it in code using Claude Code and set it up exactly according to our needs. First thing that I usually do in cases like this, I try to understand a bit more about the code I just downloaded. I can just manually go through files here to figure out exactly how everything is set up, but I can also utilize AI coding agent to explain that for me. And that is the first point that I want to make. Use AI coding agent to learn more about the demo you just set up. I'll start it here, and I'll enter the prompt, explain this JointJS codebase. Let's say you're not familiar with JointJS, in which case you will want to note that to the AI because it's going to give you better information according to your actual experience with JointJS. If you're starting your trial for the first time, then you definitely want to enter that into the prompt. It's going to take a few moments for the Claude to go through the code base, and once it does, it's going to have a nice mental map about the project. So in the course of this demo, we're going to stay in the same chat window, and I recommend you do the same because That way, the Claude Code is not going to have to run through the whole code base every time you enter a new command. It's going to have the context about the code base, and it's going to be able to easily and more efficiently give you exactly what you're looking for. There we go. We have gotten a nice overview of this project, explanation what this is, core mental model, and so on, all the way to JointJS concept that you'll encounter and that you should understand from graph, paper, and so on. If you ever want to learn more about any of those concepts, you can always ask AI to give you more details, or you can check out JointJS docs and learn about it yourself. Now that we understand how this project is structured, we actually want to tweak the design. We want to align it with our own brand. In this example, I will use JointJS, and I will align the demo with the JointJS branding and styling. So first thing that I want to do is I want to add a logo, a JointJS logo, to the resources here, and I'm going to add it to assets, and I'm going to create another folder here, images, and I'm just going to put my JointJS logo here. Of course, you're going to use your own logo for that. Here it is, JointJS logo in SVG format. We're going to add this logo to the demo, and the prompt that I will use is I want to change the theme and branding according to my brand colors. And I'm going to make AI use jointjs.com website to figure out the styling and branding that should be applied to this demo. So you don't have to go through the variables.scss to change everything yourself. You can just give AI your website where your branding is already applied, and it's going to be able to figure out exactly how to style this demo according to your branding. As you're tweaking the demo, your AI agent might ask you for permission to execute some commands. You want to allow that because, after all, we are working with demo. We're not really worried about anything here. And as I'm talking about this, here's a handy tip. Whenever you're working with AI agents, before running a new agent command, make sure to commit the code. That way, you're going to have a fail-safe. If something goes wrong, you can always return in your version control to the previous step that is already working. As the agent is working, you're going to see exactly what it's doing. And right here, I see that it's fetching the website at jointjs.com, and it's taking primary colors and background colors, which is exactly what we want. When the work is done, you're going to see exactly what changes have been applied from color palette to changed files and so on. Let's jump into the browser and see exactly what this looks like. All right, I'll refresh it. You can see that JointJS logo was added here to the sidebar. The AI agent figured out that this might be the best place to put it. For this demo, I'm going to leave it here, but just know that if something is not exactly as you want it to be, you can always ask the agent to tweak things. Now you see as I'm selecting things here and hovering over those buttons, they are all set up with JointJS Red exactly as I want. So we made nice little tweaks to the color scheme and branding of this demo so it's more aligned with our brand. AI coding agents will not always give you the exact results that you're looking for. The more specific your prompts are, the better results you'll get. And of course, you can always jump directly into the code and tweak things additionally yourself. Claude Code gives you a nice overview of files that are changed so you can understand immediately where you might need to make additional changes. Next, I want to show you how easily you can add additional features to this demo. Specific JointJS features, or maybe even something completely custom. For this demo, I want the entire path of this workflow up to the step selected to be highlighted. Or if I select this step, then I want this line to be highlighted. Let's jump into Visual Studio Code and let's use the prompt. When I select a box, I want the entire line from start to the selected box to light up so the path is visually clear. Use JointJS features when possible. Ideally, I want AI to use JointJS features that are already available, and even if I'm not familiar with them, AI will understand what is possible because it has the mental map of the library. And of course, whenever you're working with a library that is not massively popular, such as React, Angular, or Vue, for example, you want to also give it a documentation to the specific feature that you want to utilize. For example, for this specific feature, I know that I want to use JointJS highlighters feature. So I'm going to note that, and I'm going to link documentation in the prompt as well. There we go. Use the JointJS highlighters API documented at the documentation URL for the highlighters feature. This will make it a little bit easier for AI to understand what I want and what it should actually implement. Let's try it. Note that I'm being very general with my prompts in this demo. Of course, the more specific you are, the better results you will get, but AI can give you good results even with general prompts, even though the results might be a little bit more on the creative side. All right, changes made are in the effects index.js and in the section controller. Let's test it out. I'll refresh the page and let's select this step here. We have a really nice prominent indication about what are the steps that user took to get exactly to here, or what's it here. Of course, if you want to understand exactly how was this implemented, you can always open the code and see for yourself what changes AI actually made. In this demo, we have an option to save this workflow in the JSON format, and somebody else can then easily load it into their own editor. But let's say that we actually want to also have an ability to download an image of this workflow, just so we can visually show it in a presentation or to somebody who doesn't have access to actual product. I'll jump into Visual Studio Code and I'll run another prompt. I want to add a button to the toolbar that will allow me to download the visual representation of the workflow in the SVG format. And for that, I want to use format feature of JointJS that is documented right here. Again, you don't have to specify which features you want to use. AI will pretty much reliably figure out exactly what it should use. But if you do have more context, you always want to add it to AI. That way you will get better results. Again, we have a nice summary of the changes that AI agent made. Of course, you always want to test any changes AI agent makes because there's always a possibility that something doesn't go according to plan or doesn't work at all. So in this case, we should have another button, and here it is, export SVG. Let's test it out. And a diagram SVG file was created and downloaded. I'll open it. And yes, this is precisely what we wanted, a visual representation in the SVG format of this workflow. Really cool. Let's say we need additional actions or triggers for this demo. And this demo already comes with a ton of actions predefined from GitHub, Gmail, Slack, and so on and so on. But unfortunately, it doesn't include, let's say, WhatsApp, because this is precisely what we're using. Well, you guessed it, we can ask AI to implement common WhatsApp actions. I'll jump back into Visual Studio Code and I will run another prompt, add common WhatsApp and OneSignal actions. And I'm going to be really vague here. AI should figure out where to add those actions and what those actions might be. Of course, you can always give it more context, exactly what you need. But again, let's be vague here for this demo. Here's a summary. And a really cool thing is that WhatsApp image and OneSignal image were added for our workflows exactly as we expected. And the actions JSON file was updated. Let's test it out. I'll refresh the page and let's add another action here. I'll search for WhatsApp. It's right here. Send message, send media message, send template message, mark message as read. Those should be common WhatsApp messages. Of course, you can add your own according to your actual needs. And let's see if OneSignal is available as well. Here it is. Send notification, create segment, add device, and send in-app message. Let's use that one. Essentially, we just asked AI to implement WhatsApp and OneSignal actions, and we got exactly what we wanted. That is how easy it is to use AI agents, AI coding agents, to tweak JointJS demos. So if you want to build a proof of concept or a simple application based on one of JointJS demos, you can utilize AI. It understands JointJS very well, and it will help you get a lot of work done really fast. Of course, as always the case with AI and AI coding agents, you want to make sure that the code you're getting is actually reliable and good. So check it out yourself, or if you ever get stuck, well, reach out to JointJS customer support. We'll be happy to help you. If you have any questions or comments about this particular flow or JointJS in general, just leave them below and we'll make sure to answer them. Thank you so much for watching this, and thank you so much for your attention. My name is Zoran Yamber. I'm a developer advocate at JointJS, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, happy diagramming.